Body cameras, they're supposed to bring a new level of transparency to policing, but is the promise of accountability translating into action here in Massachusetts? 5 investigates Brittany Johnson put police departments to the test, and what she discovered is raising questions about how they decide what the public gets to see.
The day after, police shot and injured a man in Lakeville.
The police chief addressed the media within the past hour.
And the only information about what the police did is coming from police.
Drop the gun, do it now!
4 days later, police released body camera footage. Thanks to the released video, the public can hear the driver's threats. Body cameras are being used by police all over the country amid calls to increase transparency and build trust. But how transparent are they? To find out, we put in public records requests with a sample of departments for video of arrests they made one day, the 4th of July. This video is from Fitchburg Police.
You stole a sandwich, right?
It shows officers trying to de-escalate the clearly agitated man.
Get him away from me, Chris. Get him away from me. I'm going to spaz out.
So actions like that is what's going to get you to stay in the handcuffs and stay with us for the weekend.
If there were any question about a violent outburst in his cell, it's all captured on video. But we found transparency has its limits. Fitchburg police only released this video because the court case was over. 4 other police departments said they couldn't release their arrest video because the cases were still in court. Weymouth didn't provide any video or an explanation as to why not. Worcester police didn't respond at all.
Just leave the window down.
Boston had several arrests on July 4th. They agreed to send video from this gun case, even though it was still in court. We took the results from our survey to attorney Jeff Pyle, who specializes in First Amendment issues.
My problem with some of the responses that you've been getting is that they have assumed that any time there's a pending case, it can be withheld. That's not the law.
He says the public records law would let police keep the video secret if its release would hurt an investigation, which he doubts is the case.
If the incident is already described in a police report that's public and filed in court, what more does the release of the video show that wouldn't already be down on paper?
Another example of the confusion over what can and what can't be released. Video from a fatal officer-involved shooting in Western Mass.
Do not approach.
I don't care.
Stay. Tell me what's going on.
Nothing.
Tell me what's going on.
Kill somebody.
In October, the state police refused, saying the graphic details would violate the privacy of the decedent and his family. But just this week, the DA gave us the video, 2 different responses to the same request.
Do it.
No. Stop.
No.
Stop. Get down here.
I think we're trying to be transparent, but we're also cautious to maintain the respect and privacy of the citizens we serve.
Salisbury Police Chief Thomas Fowler sat on Governor Baker's task force on police body cameras and is the past president of the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association.
It took my officer over an hour to redact all the sensitive information out of it. We wouldn't be compromising the citizen that got pulled over by having some of their pedigree information out there.
He says police are still learning about body camera technology, how to release it, and what can be released under the Public Records Act.
If police departments can determine what can and can't be released, does that make police departments less transparent?
If they choose not to release stuff that should be reasonably released, I would say so. But policing in the current day is all about transparency. It's about accountability. And one way for us to be accountable to the public is to have these images out there.
Chief Fowler would also like more guidance about what is a public record. He's in favor of a statewide system for storing and releasing body camera video. Now, Attorney Pyle says more resources should be devoted to complying with the public records law. Brittany Johnson, 5 Investigate.